This is Emma. She's studying computing and law, what many would call a safe path. But she doesn't trust a degree alone to protect her future. So she's not just studying, she runs a tuition center by day and DJs at a nightclub by night.
And this is Hazik. He's a full-time Poly student. But when his dad lost his job, he couldn't afford to just be a student anymore.
The old Singaporean dream was simple: study hard, get a degree, stay safe. But for Gen Zs, that narrative is collapsing. Welcome to Gen Z Crash Course.
How common is it to hear someone your age having a side hustle?
I think it's quite common. I mean, I myself have a side hustle. I go and take pictures on the side once in a while after school.
Quite common, I think.
I think
Quite common, yeah, very common actually.
Do you prefer to have a side hustle over a traditional part-time job?
I prefer a side hustle because more flexibility, that's one. And at the same time, I guess it's something I like to do instead of like me forcing myself to do some F&B job. Yeah.
Right? Do you think it pays more?
Depends. Depends on what you do. Like, for me, I think it pays more.
My schedule's a bit tight, so I think side hustle is easier to manage than a traditional part-time job where the timings are more rigid.
Why do you think so many people your age are doing this?
Because I think today there's a bit of like fear with the job market. Definitely want to save up for a rainy day. So
How do students manage to juggle side hustles on top of the intense academic pressure in Singapore? Let's find out.
Hi, my name is Emma. I'm an SMU student studying computing and law. I run a tuition center and at night I'm DJ Evie. Most days I have my university classes in the morning, but because my timetable is terrible, I have a 7-hour break in between my classes. So I use that time to teach at my center because it's nearby. Then after that I grab some dinner, head for my night class, and then I become DJ Evie. So since my center is nearby, let's go check it out. Welcome to Login Education. This place opened in May and I'm here to teach today, but honestly I like to chill here with my friends or do my schoolwork because I like the place a lot. It's inspired by a Pilates studio.
Oh, how did you become a co-founder of a tuition center at such a young age?
So I started tutoring since I finished my A-levels 3 years ago. It's really a long process, but I essentially had this really nice boss who took me along with him to open this center, so I'm a co-founder.
So Emma, what made you want to take on so many different roles and identities?
First of all, I think it was financial independence because I didn't really want to take money from my parents.
Okay.
So if it's my parents' money, it is their rules how I spend it, right? So I wanted to make my own money so I can fund my kind of creative lifestyle.
Why choose these three things specifically?
So I started tutoring since after my A-levels and I always just somehow had that vision of building a tuition center and I wanted to do something with my skills.
Okay.
I played the piano since I was about 3. I ended up liking EDM, hardstyle, techno, that kind of thing.
From
And
classical piano to
yeah,
EDM
so I thought why
stuff.
not I go up on stage and see how it goes.
Would you say that there are more and more Gen Zs who are like you, who are doing different roles, taking on different side hustles?
I think most Gen Zs, they have side hustles because they're scared of the job market. It's like after graduation, then what's next? Like you're not guaranteed a job, right? So it's kind of like building career lily pads. So kind of like a backup plan for them to fall on. So at least they're not just totally lost out in the wild when they graduate. And it's something that aligns with their goals. So I guess there's this trend of people turning their hobbies into something they love, like, doing like a small pop-up based on their art.
Has there ever been a time where you felt really overwhelmed by everything?
In May, I took on an internship at a law firm. So that was like 9 to 6 and beyond. And then it was when my tuition center first started opening, right? So we had to do the renovation work, all the admin stuff. It was so complicated and I had to work literally from like 9 to 9 because after I finished my internship, I still had to go and do my business stuff. And then I was working on the weekends. So I had to do tuition on the weekends and then I also had to DJ on the weekends. I think I was working like almost 24/7. Like it felt like that.
Okay, and you were thinking that you can just go through this where you can just tough it out.
Yeah, tough times always pass.
So Emma, what would be your number one tip for time management?
I like to allocate my time into like different blocks. So if I'm supposed to do a certain thing, just make sure that I get it done. So sometimes I lock myself in the room for like 6 hours to finish my lectures. And then after that, I can play the whole night.
Lock in, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta lock in.
Bye, now I'm going for a night class. You cannot follow me. Honestly, it still feels pretty surreal being out so late at night because I used to have a curfew and I used to sleep pretty early. So a lot of people ask me, aren't you tired? But this is the play harder of my work hard, play harder, so I don't really get tired of it. So my DJ venue is just nearby and sometimes I feel like I'm Batman. He runs a company in the daytime and has a secret life at night, so that's what it feels like for me.
So how much do DJs earn?
Typically the market rate is about $100 per hour, but it's progressive. So I started out DJing free and then slowly built my way up.
Opening a tuition center sounds like the ultimate side hustle, but it requires years of experience and savings. So, what if you're just a student just starting out? Meet Hazik. He's a third-year full-time student here at Ngee Ann Polytechnic. But after class, he doesn't just go home to rest. He walks straight into his second identity, being a co-owner of a cafe on campus called Simply Pie.
Hey, hi guys, what's up?
Hey, you're late.
Well, here, this is Simply Pie. We're currently preparing for the lunch crowd where we serve savory pot pies and the pastries here in NP. So, let's get ready for the lunch. Here is Lloyd, one of my co-founders, and Kakai, another one of my co-founders. Then we have Sinlei, our employee.
Nice to meet you guys. So tell me, what are your roles at Simply Pie?
Hi, I'm Lloyd. I handle HR, I handle inventory management, and I also handle external communications at Simply Pie.
How about you, Kakai? What do you do?
So I handle the finances as well as inventory procurement and general day-to-day store operations.
Okay, then talking about finances, how much is the rent here?
At Ngee Ann, because we are a school-based business, so we pay around $200 per month for our rent.
$200 a month for rental. That's very manageable, I believe. Okay, Hazik, your food is amazing.
Thank you.
So from a home kitchen to a physical store in NP, how did it all happen?
Well, actually all of this started all the way from, the pandemic, COVID-19. My dad was a taxi driver, so our income pretty much dropped to almost like zero. That was when I decided that, maybe I should, try selling what I bake. And then people started buying it, and then from then, hop on this opportunity, the Sandbox initiative called Be Your Own Boss.
Even with the passion for baking, you could have taken a normal part-time job because it's more stable.
For Gen Zs or like people my age, if you get a 9 to 5, you're considered cook.
Why?
It's like being stuck in the matrix. So it's like, you don't have the freedom to do what you want.
So now you guys are about 1 year into the business.
Almost 1 year.
Yes. How is the business doing financially?
If the trend continues like this, we should be able to see green. Yeah. But
So hasn't broken
we have not
even
broken even yet. Previously, we were selling the sweet tarts, which we kind of ran for about maybe 5 to 6 months. We realized that there wasn't much of a demand for it because for school context, people would eat lunch and then they have to go back and rush back to class. So it kind of flopped a bit. So that's why we had to switch to our savory pot pies. There was a time, I think one of the weeks, we could only open 2 times because we totally ran flat out of dough.
Wow, that's a good problem.
It was a good problem. Usually me, Lloyd, or Kakai has classes. So if I have class, they will take over. If Kakai has class, Lloyd will take over. Then if Lloyd has class, vice versa, obviously. Just making sure our timetables are always swapping every now and then.
And if like the 3 of us have classes, then we have our staff to handle it for us so that the store can continue its operations even when we are not here.
Yeah, and the weekends,
Weekends we prep. We make the dough for the pastries, and then we make sure to bring it on Monday whenever, fresh for the week.
And right next to me, I have director of the Sandbox, Pei Kong. Nowadays, for students, they are very entrepreneurial, and a lot of the students, they are starting their own side hustle alongside their studies. Why do you think that has been the case?
Students nowadays, they are very aware of what is happening outside and the trends and also their future. And I think they do not want to do just study, and they wanted to probably experience what it's like, to do things out of their classroom, and also before even they graduate, they want to try out.
I heard that you guys actually invest real money, which is $5,000, and also 2 years of subsidized rental.
Yeah, we provide the Kickstart fund of up to 5,000 for students. And I think the main reason is that we want to encourage the students to come forward. At the same time, within the campus environment, it's a sandbox for them to try out their ideas. At the same time, we provide mentorship. Subsequently, they learn how to have a proper system, better products, and so that when they go out in the real world, they are more prepared.
Hazik started to survive a crisis while Emma started to create her own freedom. 2 different stories, but the same Gen Z spirit. Perhaps Gen Zs aren't just waiting for steady jobs to appear on the job market, but rather they're creating their own stability, one side hustle at a time. And I'll see you next time on Gen Z Crash Course.